the things that, stand out for you that have happened this season?
I'm kind of a people person. I mean, I love racing, don't get me wrong. But what stood out to me most this year, and it's because this is a new track, really, is how everybody has greeted us and treated us like their best friend. Drivers and staff and owners alike. The racing is fantastic. I love the track itself. But I mean, the people there are absolutely incredible. We've been to quite a few tracks, and this is my favorite one.
Wow. That says a lot. That actually surprises me. That says a lot, but
it really
I can see why.
I love the Bud Nationals, and I love Southern California. I love Scott and Chrissy Schweitzer, and but that's a one-time deal a year,
right.
And this is all season thing, and I've really enjoyed getting to know everybody.
Gary, what is something that stood out for you this season? Do you have any highlights, anything you want to talk about?
Oh, I could go on for hours about this if you want. We can
kill
some airtime.
We've got some time to kill, buddy.
Well,
we've got 3 hours.
So the one thing that I've really kept my eye on is the track conditions. From day one, watching how, the first 2 weekends, the track conditions had to kind of come back around. We had that big rainstorm before the first race. And watching that track change and watching the way they prep that and how every single weekend you're not going to get the same thing. And prime example was our 2-day
Cottonwood Classic.
That was.
And here you go. You got day 1, super heavy track. Day 2, a little more dry.
Yeah, a lot more. Yeah. Change your setup.
That was a big one. The other thing that really stood out to me that there's always going to be a little bit of drama going on at any racetrack you go.
It's with anything in life. With anything in life.
But what I notice is there's still a lot of camaraderie between the people that do have those issues,
absolutely.
Right? And it's not a do or die kind of a argument that would happen at the track in the pits. So getting past that, you look at everybody pulling together to help each other out when there's an issue. That's something I remember seeing back in the 80s and 90s, but it seemed like it was kind of lost for a little while because people don't want to trade secrets, being given away.
Like you're saying, things got serious.
They did.
And like you said, there was secrets. Nobody wants – I'm not telling you what shocks I'm running. Go figure that out for yourself. Go get a shot guy, and everybody's got a shot guy now. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody's got a shot guy. But going back to what you're saying, the camaraderie is big at that racetrack. I agree with that.
And it took a little while to get everybody around there that's been there for years to kind of warm up and kind of recognize, that, hey, we're here.
There were some people
helping.
that took some time. There was other people that welcomed us with open arms.
Yeah.
There were some people that kind of, that it was a big change for them, and it was.
But when they see the end product of what we're trying to accomplish for that racetrack, I think a lot of people really warmed up fast.
Right.
And it took about mid-season to really get a good feeling about it. But after that, it's just been smooth sailing. And everybody, that comes back to the track for a second or maybe even a third time, they'll come find me, say hi.
I had the same experience too, Gary. The first couple races, they're kind of like standoffish and not quite sure who are these people, because we fly into places like a hurricane wherever we go because we're on a mission. We're there to do something. And they're sitting back going, what's going on here? Who are these people? That kind of thing. But it doesn't take very long for them to warm up and say, oh, hey, you guys. I mean, we're down there taking pictures of their cars. They're going up on social media, and it's just getting fans in the stands for those guys to show their skills and show off their cool cars and, stuff like that.
A lot of people, I think, are learning that our mission, no matter what racetrack we're at, there's 2 things that are on the top of the list. More fans, more cars.
Right.
Okay? The promotion aspect of letting everybody know what that racetrack is about wherever we're at, that's just something that comes with it. The biggest thing for us is getting more cars and more fans. From what I understand, from what I've been told, the people there in the pit area and the stands, we've done that this year. We have helped do that. I'm not taking full credit for it. You got a hell of a promoter with Mike McCann. I've had some conversations with people out there at that racetrack. Mike McCann took that place over as it was a hornet's nest. It was a total mess. He's in his 4th year now, turning things around, brings us in to help out. We're glad to be there. That is our mission. More cars, more fans. That's what it's all about. And I think this year, the feedback we've got, and again, I don't know. This is our first year there. We haven't seen firsthand what it was like in the past. I can only say what I've been told, like you guys. But it sounds like this has been the best year for that racetrack in a very, very long time. And I'm glad to be a part of that.
And I think we were brought in on an upswing. So I think you're right in that, you don't want to take credit for everything, because I think everything happens for a reason. And this kind of, we ended a relationship with one track and started a relationship with another. And when we started that relationship, that track was already on the upswing.
It was starting up.
You figure it takes a good 2 years to really get a track up and going.
It does.
With any business, really.
If not longer.
If not longer. So you figure if it's been on an upward swing. Year 3 was pretty good. Year 4 is better because now you got double the action going on. You got double the promoting. You got.
Well, here's the thing: when you bring in Moxie, you don't just bring in an announcer. See, and that's what a lot of people think is, they see Moxie Media, and I'm kind of the face of it because I'm what people
you're
hear.
The announcer.
And right. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of the face of it. And that's people understand when we show up, we're showing up with a pit correspondent, a videographer, a drone pilot, a photographer. And then you got Sandy, who's the heart and soul of this whole thing, just does whatever needs to be done. She has ran the board for me this year. She has taken over the video camera when Dave needed to break at certain times. She has actually flown the drone. I mean, she
feeds me when I need to be fed.
I feed everybody.
Down in the middle of the track, though.
She's the heart and soul of this whole thing. She does a lot of public relations work that people have no idea about in the background. There's a lot that she does in the background. So we bring a crew of people designed to make things better for the racetrack, and that's our mission. This year, Gary, I agree with everything he said. There has been a lot that has stood out for me. But I want to hear Dave. Dave, what are some things that have stood out for you personally at Southern Oregon Speedway?
Well, it's like everybody's saying, it's mostly the people. When we first got there, they were kind of, standoffish a little bit.
Some
But
were.
then they got to knowing us, and they got to see us, and I started having people come up and saying, "You guys are doing a great job. We really appreciate it, and you're
Heard a lot of
making
that.
it entertainment." They really like the way you announce. A lot of them can't believe how you have so many words coming out of your mouth, and they're accurate. You don't have to sit there and think about what this driver is doing, and that it.
It's play-by-play.
And that's what I bring. I bring a different style of announcing.
You've got a way of photographic memory of these cars and drivers and the whole history of their family back 6 generations, I think, sometimes.
That's a big thing for me, is history.
I noticed over in the pits, too, when we walk around over there, I get a lot of guys coming up, and they're always happy to see us. Mm-hmm. They come up, they shake your hand, they just, they say, "Thank you, you're making this a great track to be at, and it's fun." Mm-hmm. And I really like the camaraderie between the drivers. Biggest race, $5,000 on the line, and guys help give the guy parts that won the darn thing. Mm-hmm. He won it on other drivers' parts.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And to me, that's amazing.
That's what it's all about.
And I've been to some other tracks, and you don't see this going on.
No.
They're friends until racing starts, and then you're on your own, baby.
Yeah, it's business
That's
time.
how some of them,
Mm-hmm.
But I like up there videoing it, and it's the people up there, the VIP people that come up there. I've been to some other places where people come up and they're kind of, I don't know, they think they're better than some, but the people there, they've all been just wonderful. Mm-hmm. They'll say, "Hey, we're going to get something to eat. You want something to eat?" Or, "Yeah, bring me something to drink," and they're great about it.
Isn't that
That's
neat?
awesome.
So
awesome.
I love that.
I really enjoy being there, and I hope to be there next year, and we'll make it better and greater. And Mike, I didn't know Mike before we got there, but that guy, he's like a ball of fire. He's standing next to you. You're talking to him. You look away. You look back. He's gone.
It's true.
You look in the camera. He's over in the pit area.
Yeah.
And it's like, how does he get over there? And then you look somewhere else, and he's out on the track driving around, and he's back beside you. And the guy, if something needs done, he's on top of it.
He's
he
a hands-on promoter.
Right there, and he's not leaving it up to other people. He just does it.
He is very hands-on.
He leaves stuff to other people that, if that's their job, but there's certain little things that's not really anybody's job. Well, that's Mike. Mm-hmm. He takes care of things.
Yep.
Okay, Nina, you're up. I'm out of words again.
Mine's kind of being the new person on the track and being new into the crew. Mine's kind of like your guys's, but mine's the generations. Watching all the generations, watching the people that have been there for the last 40 years coming to the races at 5, right when we all get there at 3, sitting up their chairs.
The same people.
Watching the 2 and 3-year-olds run through the field, just eyes glowing of how cool it is. And they used to be those 2 and 3-year-olds, and just watching the racers race with their dads and so on. It's just, that's amazing to me.
And
Absolutely.
your pictures capture that.
Yeah. That's what
Hugely.
I try to capture. Because I see all the races, like the photographers do the same thing over and over, and I try to be different so people will see what they want to see. So when they flip through their photos in 20 years in their garage going through boxes, they see everything that they want to remember.
It gives me chills. Oh, it's like the coolest thing ever.
There is a lot that stands out for me about Southern Oregon Speedway. Number one is the environment. I love the environment down there. I love the backdrop, those sunsets. I love where that track is located. The weather. I'm a big fan of the weather down there.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it down there.
It's going to be cold for us Saturday.
The community down there, and we've gotten into the community this year. You know, we've went and done things in that community and met people. It's a great community. The racetrack itself, the reception it gets from that community, it's actually welcomed. I mean, for the most part, we haven't talked to anybody that has said anything bad about that racetrack while we're out and about doing things in the town. The people out there this year have been, I didn't know what to expect coming in. And, you know, there was a couple people that were kind of like, hey, listen, you're new. We don't like change. And I get it. That's there was actually less of that than I expected. Okay. Like you said, most of the people have been very receptive, arms wide open, talking with us, laughing. Made some great friends with people that Nina has said, you know, have been there for 40 years. Keith Mix.
He's super nice.
Ray Manning. You know, some of the other people out there that we have talked with that it's just been Pistol Pete, of all people, has been fantastic and giving me information to learn about the history. And for me, I've got to have that. And those 3 drivers, every week I talk to them. Whether it's, you know, I try to talk to all 3 of them. And every week I learn something from these guys about who's done what. And that has helped me immensely. And I can't tell you how big of a thank you that I give to those guys. They have been absolutely awesome. The facility itself, you're not going to go anywhere in the Pacific Northwest and find a facility like you do at Southern Oregon Speedway. From the grandstands to the restrooms to the layout of the track. Love the fact the track is, number one, you can sit anywhere you want. You got a great view, and you're comfortable. Those grandstands are phenomenal.
Yes, they are.
Okay. That announcer's booth, there isn't anything like that in the Pacific Northwest. From the California border all the way up to the Canadian border, you're not going to find another announcer's booth that nice. And I tell you, for me, I'm glad to be there. That is it's a great deal. The comfort of that. I love the racing. That racetrack itself, I've said this before on the show, I'm going to say it again. The way it's laid out, the size, the shape, the design, the banking. When you get down on that racetrack and you look at it for what it is, it's like the track we built here. You cannot see the banking. You get down on there, it's pretty eye-opening. It's got some cliffs. Dave and I did a rock walk last week. We did a rock walk. Went around and picked up rocks, tossed them off, and you get on that track and get the perspective of what that track is, and it's you see why it's so racy. We've seen 4 wide how many times this year? I mean, phenomenal racing itself. And I just love that racetrack itself. I love the fact that the ends are open. There's no walls in the corners. There's a whole lot less there to get tore up. And we've